In the annals of Middle-earth, there are whispers of what might have been, moments where the threads of fate could have woven a different tapestry. Among these is the tale of Bilbo Baggins, the unlikeliest of heroes who stumbled upon a golden ring deep in the heart of the Misty Mountains. To all but its maker, the ring appeared a mere trinket, a curious token of little consequence. Yet, as Gandalf would later reflect, "When did I first begin to guess?" he mused, searching back in memory. "Let me see. It was in the year that the White Council drove the dark power from Mirkwood, just before the Battle of 5 Armies, that Bilbo found his ring. A shadow fell on my heart then, though I did not know yet what I feared. I wondered often how Gollum came by a great ring, as plainly it was, that at least was clear from the first. Then I heard Bilbo's strange story of how he had won it, and I could not believe it. When I at last got the truth out of him, I saw at once that he had been trying to put his claim to the ring beyond doubt, much like Gollum with his birthday present. The lies were too much alike for my comfort. Clearly, the ring had an unwholesome power that set to work on its keeper at once. Bilbo's remarkable survival against Gollum, his newfound stealth, and his growing reluctance to part with his precious were signs the wise should have heeded, but in the canon of Tolkien's tale, it would take decades and the growing shadow of Sauron for the truth to emerge. What if that realization had come earlier? What if Gandalf, with his keen eyes and ancient wisdom, had discerned the true nature of Bilbo's treasure during the years of the Hobbit? How might the quest to destroy the ring have unfolded differently? This is the story of what could have been, a tale of foreknowledge, peril, and a fellowship forged before its time. Gandalf's discovery of the One Ring sets events in motion that could not be undone. Just as in the canon of Middle-earth, the wizard knew that such a burden could not be borne alone. The free peoples of Middle-earth had to stand united against the shadow, even in this earlier hour. Like the Council of Elrond in later years, a gathering was called. Elves, dwarves, men, and wizards assembled, their debate echoing the weight of ages past. The decision was made, and the course set. The ring must be destroyed, carried to the fire of Mount Doom, the only place where it could be unmade. "We must take it deep into Mordor, to the very cracks of Doom," Gandalf proclaimed. "There is no other way." As the Fellowship was formed, it became clear that this was no ordinary company of adventurers. Much like the Fellowship of the Ring that would come to pass in later years, this group was a reflection of the free peoples of Middle-earth. Yet, the age in which they stood and the circumstances that had brought them together lent a distinct flavour to their alliance, a mixture of resolve, pride, and necessity. Gandalf the Grey stood at its head as he would in the Fellowship of Frodo's time, yet here, in this earlier hour, his role carried a particular urgency. The shadow in the east had not yet fully revealed itself, and the ring's identity had only just been uncovered. He bore the burden of knowledge, a weight that only deepened as he called others to the cause. Gandalf, the unifier of disparate peoples, was both the heart and the guide of this fellowship. The task of bearing the ring fell to Bilbo Baggins. As unassuming as he was unexpected, Bilbo's presence mirrored that of Frodo in years to come. Yet where Frodo bore the ring in the shadow of war, Bilbo's journey began in a world still reeling from the fall of Smaug and the echoes of past conflicts. The Hobbit's quiet courage and steadfast loyalty to Gandalf made him an unlikely but fitting bearer of this great burden. From Erebor came Thorin Oakenshield, the king under the mountain. His inclusion brought strength and pride to the Fellowship, but also the potential for discord. Thorin carried the weight of his reclaimed kingdom on his shoulders, and his fierce determination to protect his people sometimes clashed with the unity needed for such a quest. In this, Thorin stood in contrast to Aragorn's quiet humility in the later fellowship, his kingly pride both a strength and a potential weakness. Legolas of the Woodland Realm represented the elves, as he would in the Fellowship of Frodo's time, yet in this earlier age, Legolas carried the weight of his people's struggles against Dol Guldur, the looming shadow within their borders. His skill with a bow and his unyielding resolve mirrored the qualities he would bring to later alliances, though here his purpose was more personal. His people's survival depended on the fall of Sauron. For the race of men, it was Bard the bowman who answered the call. Bard's courage had already been proven in the slaying of Smaug, and his role as a leader of Lake Town marked him as a voice of resilience and practicality. Where Boromir would later represent the might of Gondor, Bard stood as a reminder of the strength found in ordinary men rising to extraordinary challenges. His presence grounded the Fellowship, offering a counterbalance to Thorin's fiery pride and Legolas's ethereal grace. Beorn, the Skin Changer, brought a presence unlike any other. Neither of the Free Peoples nor bound to any kingdom, Beorn stood as a symbol of the wild and untamed lands of Middle-earth. His immense strength and ferocity were matched only by his independence, a quality that sometimes made him an uneasy ally, yet his loyalty to Gandalf and his hatred of Sauron's creatures bound him to the cause. Radagast the Brown completed the Fellowship, his inclusion both unexpected and invaluable. While less commanding than Gandalf, Radagast brought a unique wisdom, one rooted in the natural world. His bond with the creatures and wild places of Middle-earth offered a voice for those often overlooked, and his presence brought a balance to the company, a reminder of what they fought to preserve. The Fellowship set forth from Rivendell, their purpose clear and their path mirroring the one Frodo's company would take in the years to come. The Misty Mountains, with their treacherous heights, still lay between them and the south. Like the later Fellowship, they sought to cross by way of Caradhras, only to be thwarted by the mountain's malevolence. The storm that drove them back echoed the trials that Frodo and his companions would later face, yet the dynamics of this company gave the moment a different weight. Thorin's pride burned brighter than Aragorn's quiet resolve, and Beorn's strength brought hope where despair might have taken root. Turning back from Caradhras, the Fellowship entered Moria, the ancient dwarven kingdom. Here, the shadow of the past loomed even larger in this timeline, with Thorin bearing a personal connection to the halls of his ancestors, where Gimli, in the later tale, mourned the fall of Balin's colony. Thorin's grief was tinged with anger and the burden of responsibility. The group's passage through Moria brought encounters with goblins and the discovery of the tomb of Balin, tragedies that mirrored those of the later Fellowship, yet with a resonance unique to Thorin's presence. The confrontation with the Balrog on the bridge of Khazad-dûm played out with much the same weight as in Frodo's tale. Gandalf, as ever, stood as the bulwark against despair, his command, "You shall not pass," still resounding with the authority of one who bore the light of the secret fire. Yet the presence of Beorn and Radagast offered a subtle shift. Beorn's primal rage might have drawn the attention of the Balrog, giving Gandalf a fleeting advantage, while Radagast's awareness of the deep forces at work could have added an undertone or foreboding to their flight. Fleeing Moria, the Fellowship sought refuge in Lothlorien, the timeless haven of the elves. Here, as in the canon, Galadriel offered wisdom and gifts to aid them in their quest. Her mirror revealed glimpses of possible futures, and in this timeline, the visions carried a different weight. Thorin, burdened by grief and pride, might have seen a vision of Erebor falling once more, while Bilbo glimpsed the Shire under Sauron's shadow, a fate he resolved to prevent at all costs. Galadriel addressed the Fellowship, her eyes reflecting the light of distant stars. Your quest stands upon the edge of a knife. Stray but a little, and it will fail, to the ruin of all. Yet hope remains while the company is true. Her words resonated deeply, echoing in the hearts of each member. Thorin's grip tightened on his axe as he pondered the weight of his people's future. Bilbo felt a surge of determination, the image of the Shire in darkness strengthening his resolve. Even Beorn and Radagast, beings of the wild, recognized the fragility of their mission. Galadriel continued, her voice a blend of warning and encouragement. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Go now and rest, for you are weary with sorrow and much toil. Tonight you shall sleep in peace. With renewed purpose, the Fellowship took solace in the haven of Lothlorien. The gifts bestowed upon them, elven cloaks, lembas bread, and words of wisdom would aid them in the perilous journey ahead. Galadriel's counsel reminded them that unity was their greatest strength, and that even in the face of overwhelming darkness, hope remained. The journey down the Anduin River followed, their course southward fraught with the dangers of Sauron's servants. Like Boromir, Thorin's pride and growing frustration with Gandalf's leadership may have sown seeds of discord, though his loyalty to the task would hold firm. Beorn's strength and Radagast's wisdom continued to set this fellowship apart, their contributions weaving a tale of survival that balanced the weight of their burden. Reaching the borders of Mordor, the fellowship faced the same grim choice: to attempt the Black Gate or find another path. Just as Frodo and Sam later sought to infiltrate Mordor by the hidden ways of Cirith Ungol, Gandalf and the earlier fellowship would have sought secrecy, their path no less fraught with peril. The ring's growing power tested Bilbo's resolve, yet his unassuming strength, guided by Gandalf's wisdom, carried the company onward. The tale of this fellowship, though forged in a different age, echoes the timeless themes of unity, sacrifice, and the resilience of the free peoples of Middle-earth. Through treacherous mountains, shadowed halls, and the fiery heart of Mount Doom, their journey proved that courage and hope could endure even the darkest of times. But how might this fellowship, with its unique strengths and burdens, have fared compared to Frodo's company? Would Bilbo's quiet resolve have carried the ring to its destruction, or would Thorin's pride and Radagast's gentle wisdom have shifted the balance of their fate? These are questions for the annals of alternate history, where the paths of Middle-earth weave endless possibilities. What do you think? Could this fellowship have succeeded in its quest, or would their differences have led them to ruin? Share your thoughts below. We'd love to hear how you imagine this alternate journey might unfold. If you enjoyed this exploration of Middle-earth's alternate possibilities, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more journeys into Tolkien's world. And as always, thank you for watching. Until next time, may the stars shine upon your faces.